Hello, my name is Hello Developer Tom and welcome to another video. Last time we created our first shooting script. Today we're gonna add multiple weapons to our game. So last time we got a comment, does the player need to have a cannon game object inside of it? If the game has more than one weapon, it would be very messy. So thank you so much for the comment. Please leave a comment down below if you have more questions and let's get started. So over here we have our player and as you can see there's a cannon underneath it. So you can right click over here and create an empty game object, and you can use this to actually sort things. So we create a new empty game object. As you can see, it's on the position 0. We're gonna leave it as it is, and we're gonna write cannons. So over here we're gonna store all the cannons. So we're gonna drag and drop it over here. We're gonna go over here again, and we're gonna create another game object, create empty game object, and we're gonna name it shotgun. So SG. And create another game object and we're gonna name it pistols. So we're gonna use these empty game objects to sort our weapons. So over here we're gonna have all the cannons, over here we're gonna have all the shotguns, and over here we're gonna have all the pistols. So now let's go to the Patreon site. On the Patreon site you can get for free the shotgun and the pistol. Download it by clicking over here, download the zip folder, unzip the file, and then you're gonna get 2 folders. Already done this, so we have 2 folders over here, shotgun and pistol. Now just drag and drop them over here in our Unity project. And let's go back to Unity. Also please, if you want to support the channel, you can join the VIP membership on the Patreon, get all the privileges for just $1. This will help me to post more videos and make more quality videos for you. So please, if you could support the channel, thank you so much. Now let's go back to the video. So we just downloaded the shotgun and the pistol and we drag and drop it in the Unity project. Now we have them over here. If we open the folder, I already prepared a prefab for the pistol, so we're gonna drag and drop this over here under pistols. So over here we're gonna store all the pistols, and over here we have a prefab of the pistol. Now let's move closer, let's check it out. Okay, so the pistol is over here and we're gonna hide it. Okay, now we're also gonna go to the shotgun and drag and drop the prefab over here to SG. Okay, now let's hide it, click over here. And we're gonna minimize this for now. Now we're gonna show the cannon just so we can create our scripts like this. And now we're gonna open our script, so our player control script. Just double click it so it opens in the editor. So last time we had only one weapon, so we've written all the code in the same script. Now we're gonna change that. We're gonna create a new script that's gonna be used for all the weapons, so it's gonna be incredibly easy to modify all the weapons, so you can add multiple weapons and you're not gonna spend a lot of time doing it. So let's go to our cannon, and over here we're gonna add a component. As you can see, I'm on our cannon and we're gonna type weapon logic. Now we're gonna add our script, create and add, and now open the script. Alright, so this is gonna be our weapon script, so we're gonna go over here and first of all we're gonna type an int value. We're gonna use public because we want to set it in Unity, so we're gonna set public int damage. And we're gonna set it to 1 by default, we're gonna change it later. Now let's save it and let's go back to Unity. As you can see, the damage is now over here, we can change it to 10 for example. Now we can go also to our other weapons and for example, let's go under SG and we're gonna select shotgun prefab. Now we're gonna drag and drop the weapon logic that's over here in our project and drag and drop it over here, and as you can see we have also damage over here. So we can increase this damage to 30. And now if we go back to the cannon, as you can see it's still for the cannon it's 10. And for the shotgun it's 30. Also when the item is hidden, so as you can see over here it's not checked, this means that the object is hidden, then it's not gonna run this code. So when it's hidden it's not gonna run this code, it's just gonna run the code that's on the active object. So for example right now it's active, as you can see our cannon. So right now it's gonna use this script on our cannon and ignore this script. Now we can also go back to the pistol, we can drag and drop the weapon script over here and we're gonna set it to 5. Now this is gonna be incredibly easy to set up multiple weapons inside of the game. And also by using the empty game objects that are set to 0, it's incredibly easy to sort things and not to get lost. Now let's go back to our weapon script. We have to add more variables, so we're gonna go over here and we're actually gonna go above the damage and we're gonna add an array. So what is an array? Array is just a table, so for example you can save int values or game objects or whatever you want in it. An array looks like this, so let me just show you first before we write it. So for example an int array, if you want to save in array whole numbers, you can have for example 3, 4 and 5. This is an array length of 3 and you can save it in one name. So for example let me just show you so you understand. So public int and you have to add this to int, so this means that it's an array, and you can name it, for example, let's just name it test because we're gonna delete this later. So for example, we can have inside of the test, you can save the numbers 2, 4 and 7. And now if you want to use the array in our script, if we want to get the first number in the array, you're just gonna type test and 0. This means that we are accessing the first number in the array. So it starts with a 0, this is a 1, and this is a 2. But if you want to get the length of the array, it's gonna say 3. So we're gonna use this in our script because we're gonna use multiple spawn points for the bullets. For example, the shotgun is gonna have multiple spawn bullets, so we're gonna use our universal script where you can just use an array and set how many spawn points we have. So let's actually add the right array. We're gonna delete this and we're gonna type public game object and add this because game object is an array, so we're gonna have multiple game objects in the array, and type bullet spawn point. So here we're gonna link in the Unity multiple bullet spawn points, or maybe just one. If you use a pistol, we're gonna use one. If you use a shotgun, we're gonna have multiple. In this tutorial, we're just gonna add 2 spawn points for shotgun. Alright, so we have our bullet spawn points, and now we're gonna add another int value for bullets per reload. So how many times you can shoot before you have to reload your weapon. So now we're gonna go over here and we're gonna type public int bullets per reload. Now we're gonna add total amount of bullets, so how many bullets you can pick up before your inventory is full. So we're gonna type public int max bullets, and we're gonna set it to 210, and also the bullets per reload we're gonna set it to 30 by default. Alright, now we're gonna set a bool value, so a bool value can be true or false. We're gonna use the bool value to set in Unity if you want to shoot manually or automatic. So we have a manual weapon or automatic. For example, the cannon is gonna be automatic, but the shotgun is gonna be manual. So if you want to shoot twice with the shotgun, you're gonna have to click, release the key and click again, and you're gonna be shooting twice. So we're gonna type is manual over here and set it to false by default. Now we also have to set the fire rate, so we're gonna type public int bullets per second. So we're gonna set it to 10 by default. By using this, we're gonna be able to change this number and set the fire rate for each weapon that this script is attached to. Now we also have to add a weight, so we're gonna use the weight to slow down the player. So for example, if we're gonna have a heavier weapon, then the player is gonna move slower. So over here, we're gonna type public int weight. And we're gonna set it to 0 by default. Now if we save this and go back to Unity and click to the cannon, as you can see over here we have all the default values, and we can change this for each weapon. So if you go over here, as you can see over here we can set different numbers, and over here we can set different numbers. Alright, so first of all what we're gonna do is link our bullet spawn points. So we're gonna go to our cannon and click over here, and as you can see this is an array. We have to set how many bullet spawn points do we have. So we're gonna set 1 over here, and we're gonna open the array, and as you can see there's an element 0. So on the 0 position we're gonna link our spawn point bullet for the cannon. So we just drag and drop this over here. Now we're gonna go to the shotgun. We're gonna click on the shotgun, and now we still have to add the bullet spawn points. So we're just gonna hide this and get our shotgun, and we're gonna copy this. We're just gonna duplicate this twice and move it on the shotgun like this. And now we're gonna move it to the end of the shotgun like this. Click over here so we can align it better, and let's try to put it inside of the shotgun like this. And also let's get the other one, and we're gonna move it over here. So the shotgun is gonna shoot out of this and out of this. Now let's go back to our shotgun prefab, and over here we're gonna set it to 2. And as you can see we have 2 elements. We're looking for 2 game objects, and we're gonna drag and drop both spawn points over here like this. Now we also have to get our pistol. So over here we're gonna duplicate another spawn point for the bullet, and we're gonna drag and drop it over here. We can now hide our shotgun and click over here and get our gun like this. And now let's try to center it in the middle. Let's go above it, and I think this is gonna be fine for now. We're gonna see how it looks later. Now let's click our pistol prefab, and we're gonna go down, and over here we're gonna type 1 because it's gonna have 1 spawn point, and now we're gonna drag and drop this also over here. So now if we go under pistol prefab, we have 1 spawn point. If we go under shotgun prefab, we have 2 spawn points, and also if we go to the cannon, we have also 1 spawn point. Alright, so now let's hide our pistol and unhide the cannon like this. Now let's go back to our script. So over here, as you can see, we have weapon logic and player logic opened. So we're gonna go back to the player logic and we're gonna delete the code that we made last time for the shooting. We also can just copy paste it. So let's go over here, we're gonna cut this and we're gonna go back to our weapon logic and we're gonna paste this over here. Now let's go back to player control. And in the new script, we don't need the bullet spawn point, so we can delete this. And we can also copy paste this. So we're gonna just cut it, go over here, go above it, and we're gonna paste it over here. We can move the bullet on the top, so cut and paste it over here. And we can rename it to bullet. Alright, so now let's look at our code. So last time we had to check if the weapon is active, but let's go back to Unity. If the object is not active, then it's not gonna run the script at all. So whatever weapon is active is gonna run the script that's attached to the weapon. So if none of the weapons are active, no weapon logic scripts are gonna run. So we can actually delete this. So we're just gonna go over here, we're gonna cut it, and we can delete this. And we can paste it over here. Alright, so now let's set our fire rate. We created an int value, bullets per second. So we're gonna go over here, and as you can see over here we set the delay. So if the left mouse button is pressed down, then it's running this code. If the delay is bigger than 0, then it's not gonna run any code. As you can see over here, it's empty. But if the delay is equals to 0 or it's slower than 0, then it's gonna run the else statement. So we're gonna spawn another bullet and then set the delay again. So this is gonna loop while the left mouse button is pressed down. That's because over here we used get mouse button, but if you would use get mouse button down, then to shoot twice you would have to press the button, release it and press again. So over here let's set our delay first. So to set the delay by fire rate, so we can just change this number. We're gonna divide 1 by bullets per second. So this means, for example, if you divide 1 by 10, it's equals to 0.1. This means that it's gonna actually shoot 10 times per second. And now let's fix this line of code. As you can see, it's red. This means it's wrong. That's because we renamed it and changed some stuff. So over here we have to link the bullet prefab. So we're gonna type bullet. And over here we added an array. Over here we're gonna change this to bullet spawn point. And we're gonna use these brackets and then type 0 because we want to access the first object in the array. Over here we're gonna do the same thing, so we have to set the rotation of the object, so we're just gonna copy and paste it over here. Alright, so now as you can see we just access the 0 object. It's not gonna be fine because we have 2 spawn points for the shotgun. So to fix this, we're gonna go over here, we're gonna type 4. So for statement is gonna loop while the statement is true. So we're gonna set our new variable, we're gonna set int e equals 0, and now use this at the end, and now we have to type the condition. So while e is smaller than bullet spawn point dot length, so this is actually gonna tell it if the length of the bullet spawn point array, if it's 1 for the pistol or 2 for the shotgun. And over here we have to also end it by this, and we have to add e++. So while the for statement is looping, every loop the I is gonna increase by 1. So over here we set it to increase by 1. We can also change the code to this, I equals I plus 1. So this is gonna do the same thing. So every loop I is increasing by 1, and it's gonna do that while this condition is true. So while e is smaller than bullet spawn point array length, then it's gonna loop. Now we're gonna go over here and we're gonna add these brackets. As you already know, as long as this condition is true, it's gonna run the code inside of this. So we're here, now we're gonna cut this and paste it inside of the for statement. And now to get all the bullet spawn point, we're gonna replace the zeros by I, like this. And we also have to change it over here. So now the code is gonna go through the whole array and spawn the bullets. Then after the condition is no longer true, it's gonna go outside over here and set the delay. So for example, for the shotgun, if this is not true, then it's gonna run the else statement. So it's gonna go over here. So for the shotgun, the bullet spawn point length is 2. The condition is the I has to be smaller than bullet spawn point length. So the first time it's gonna loop, it's gonna be 0. So it's gonna set over here under I, it's gonna set all to 0. And it's gonna spawn the bullet. Then after it spawns the first bullet, it's gonna go over here again because it's looping while the condition is true, and the I is gonna be increased by 1 because of this thing right here. So the I is actually gonna be 1 now. So now it's 1, so it's gonna spawn the bullet again on the other position. Let's go back to Unity, let me show you. So first time it went under element 0 and it spawned a bullet from this spawn point. In the next loop, it's gonna go under element 1 and it's gonna spawn the bullet on this spawn point. So we have 2 spawn points, it's gonna spawn a bullet from both positions. So under I, it's actually gonna be 1. So it's gonna spawn a bullet of the bullet spawn point in the array that's on the element 1. And also it's gonna set the rotation of the bullet to the same as the bullet spawn point in the element 1. Then it's gonna go over here again, it's gonna increase the I by 1. This means that over here in the I, it's gonna be 2. And then it's gonna check the condition again. And because the bullet spawn point length is 2 right now and in the I we have 2, this means that I is no longer smaller than bullet spawn point length. Then it's gonna go outside of the for statement and it's gonna set the delay again. Alright, so this is gonna be fine. Now we're gonna go to is manual. So if the weapon is manual or not. So over here we would use the same code again and again. So to fix this, we're actually gonna create a new function. So under the update function, if you click over here, as you can see, this is highlighted, so this is under the update function. We're gonna type enter, and we're gonna type private void shoot. So we just named the function shoot, and over here we added these brackets again. So over here we're gonna type the code. Over here we're just gonna cut this and paste it over here. And now if you want to call this code that's inside of these brackets in the function, just type this. So over here we're gonna type shoot and use these brackets and end it by using this. So now if you hold the left mouse button down, it's gonna continue to run the shoot method. So now we also have to create an if statement if the weapon is manual. So we're gonna type if is manual is set to true. Then it's gonna run the code inside of here. We're gonna type else. So we're just gonna copy this and paste it over here. So if we set the is manual to true, this means that the weapon is manual. So if you want to shoot twice, you're gonna have to press the left mouse button, release it and press it again. So to do this, you have to change the get mouse button to down. So you're gonna have to type get mouse button down. So this means that you're gonna have to click twice to shoot twice. But if you use just get mouse button, this means that it's gonna run the code all the time while the left mouse button is pressed down. And now we're gonna copy this and paste it over here. Alright, so as you can see, over here we have a if statement. If the is manual is set to true, which means that in Unity we checked the is manual over here, go under shotgun, and we're gonna check it over here, like this. So this means that it's true right now, but if this is not checked, it's gonna be false. So let's check it for the shotgun, and also we're gonna go under pistol, and we're gonna check it also over here. Now let's go back to the code. So if is manual is set to true, then it's gonna run this code and ignore this code. So if it's set to true, then you're gonna have to click twice to shoot twice. But if this condition is not true, which means that is manual is set to false, then it's gonna run the code inside of the else statement. So if this is not true, then it's gonna run the code inside of these brackets. So then it's gonna use this code, and over here we used get mouse button. This means while the left mouse button is pressed down, it's gonna call this function all the time. So over here it's gonna spawn a bullet on each spawn point. Then it's gonna set the delay to whatever bullets per second we set over here. I just noticed that I named this incorrectly. We have to name it bullets per second. So we just have to name it correctly so we know later what this is used for. So I just renamed it over here, and now we have to copy and paste it over here. Now let's save the code, and we also have to go to player control script and save it over here. Now let's go back over here, and also once the delay is set, then in this line of code, if the delay is bigger than 0, so this means if the delay is set, then it's gonna count down the delay in real time. So time.delta time is actually used for real time in Unity. So we're counting down the delay while the delay is bigger than 0. So once the delay is equals to 0 or lower than 0, then you can shoot again, as you know over here. Alright, so we're just gonna use these things in this tutorial, then later we're also gonna implement the rest of the code. Alright, so now let's save it and let's go back to Unity. Alright, so now we also have to link our cannon bullet, so we're gonna go under cannon over here and scroll down, and over here, as you can see, we have to link our cannon bullet. So we're gonna drag and drop cannon bullet over here. like this. And also for now we're just gonna link the cannon bullet to all the objects. So we're gonna go over here on the shotgun prefab and we link the cannon bullet by dragging and dropping it over here. Okay, now let's go also to our pistol and we're gonna drag and drop it over here too, like this. And okay, now let's set our delay. So for example, the shotgun is gonna be able to shoot twice per second, and also the pistol is gonna be able to shoot twice per second, like this. Okay, let's check our script, let's play the game and let's check it out if this works. So right now, as you can see, the cannon is active, so let's try to shoot. As you can see, it's working as before. Let's go over here now. And we're gonna go back to our cannon, so we're gonna hide this, so we're gonna click here. And we're gonna show our shotgun, so click over here. And as you can see, because we have easy manual turned on, it's not gonna shoot all the time, so we have to click multiple times to shoot. This is a little bit slow, let's set it to 4 times. Alright, this is much better, so we're gonna go over here. So we have to stop the games, so the bullets per second gets actually saved. And we're gonna set this to 4. And we're gonna go down. And let's set it to 8 for the pistol. And now let's play the game and try it out again. So let's go to the cannon, and as you can see also easy manual is turned off with the cannon, so we can just press down and it's gonna shoot all the time. So let's hide this now. Let's show our shotgun, activate it and press down. Okay, so this is gonna be fine. Now as you can see, the bullets are a little bit too big. Stop the game, and now we're gonna duplicate this. Press Ctrl D or Command D if you're on a MacBook. So this is gonna duplicate the object, and as you can see, cannon bullet 1 has been created. That's the same bullet as the other one, so we're just gonna rename it and set it to bullet prefab. So we're gonna use the cannon bullet for cannon, and we're gonna use the bullet prefab for our pistol and our shotgun. Now we're gonna select our bullet prefab and we're gonna change the size. So we're gonna set the size to 0.1. And now let's select our shotgun prefab, drag and drop it over here. And select our pistol prefab and also do the same thing, select the bullet prefab and drag and drop it over here. Alright, now let's go back, let's play the game. And let's hide the cannon, so select the cannon, unactivate it, and then select the shotgun prefab and activate it. Now let's shoot. Okay, this is gonna be fine for now. We can make it a little bit bigger, we can go over here and set it to 0.2. Now let's play the game again and hide the cannon, show the shotgun. Now let's try it out. Alright, this is gonna be fine for the shotgun. Of course, this is not gonna be our final product for the shotgun. The shotgun is actually gonna have multiple spawn points later, but first let's try our pistol. So let's go to pistol, let's select our pistol prefab and let's show it. So as you can see, this is working. Alright, so this is it for this tutorial. Thanks so much for watching. If this helped you, leave a like. In the next tutorial, we're gonna create a script so you can pick up all the weapons and then switch between them using 1, 2, 3. We're also gonna limit the number of bullets and we're gonna make a reload button. We're also gonna be fixing our shotgun, so if you'd like to see that in future tutorials, subscribe to the channel. Also, if you want to support the channel, get all the privileges on the Patreon with a VIP membership for just $1. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next video.